Hello and welcome back to the Education Magazine. Did you know that over 60% of the calorie intake in the average American diet comes from ultra-processed foods? That's right, more than half. Ever wonder why that instant ramen you love so much packs a flavor punch way stronger than anything your grandma ever cooked? Or how those chips magically disappear from the bag in the blink of an eye? There's a secret ingredient at play here, and it's not some magical flavor dust, it's science. The food industry has mastered making UPFs irresistible. But here's the thing, UPFs are everywhere these days, and most of us don't even realize just how much of them we're actually eating. We're talking about things like sugary drinks, frozen dinners, processed meats, the list goes on. While they may be convenient and tasty, what the food industry doesn't advertise is the impact these UPFs can have on our health. Let's crack open the code on ultra-processed foods and see what they're really all about. First, what exactly are ultra-processed foods? Ultra-processed foods UPFs are not just any processed foods. While processed foods might include simple things like canned vegetables or cheese, UPFs are industrial creations. They are loaded with additives, artificial flavors, and preservatives to extend shelf life and enhance taste. Think of those frozen meals, snack cakes, instant noodles, and sugary drinks you see everywhere. The NOVA classification system helps us understand this better. It categorizes foods into 4 groups based on how much processing they've undergone. Group 4, the most processed, includes UPFs. These foods are often high in sugar, fat, and salt, making them unhealthy choices. Consuming these can increase the risk of obesity, heart disease, and even cancer. Alright, let's talk about the deceptive side of UPFs the food industry doesn't want you to know. Have you ever noticed how many healthy snacks are secretly loaded with sugar and unhealthy fats? Food companies are masters of deception. They use misleading marketing tactics, often called healthy washing, to make ultra-processed foods UPFs seem nutritious. Labels like whole grain, low fat, and natural can be found on products that are anything but healthy. For example, a whole grain cereal might be packed with as much sugar as a candy bar. But it gets worse. These foods are designed to be addictive. High in sugar, salt, and fat, they trigger pleasure centers in our brains, making us crave more. This isn't by accident, it's a calculated strategy to keep us buying. Research shows that the high sugar content in these foods can lead to addictive eating behaviors, similar to drug addiction. And don't be fooled by the fat-free labels either. Many of these foods replace fat with sugars and artificial additives to maintain flavor, which can be even worse for your health. According to a study, these deceptive marketing practices contribute significantly to the obesity epidemic and related health issues. Now, let's focus on how these UPFs are actually made. Ultra-processed foods UPFs go through a journey that's more science lab than kitchen. Picture this. Fats, sugars, preservatives, and a cocktail of chemicals like artificial flavors, yes, like MSG, are mixed and heated to extreme levels. On average, UPFs can contain up to 30% fats and 20% sugars, which is alarmingly high. Preservatives like sodium benzoate and artificial colors are added to give them that irresistible look and taste and increase shelf life. This is all before they are extruded, emulsified, and packaged for our convenience. Imagine the disconnect here. While ads show wholesome ingredients, the reality is these foods are far from their natural state. The industrial processes strip them of nutrients and load them with unhealthy additives. It's a system designed for profit, not health. This is what the food industry doesn't want you to know. The impact of ultra-processed foods UPFs on our health is alarming. Research shows that a higher intake of UPFs is linked to a nearly 50% increased risk of dying from cardiovascular diseases and a 48 to 53% higher chance of experiencing anxiety and common mental disorders. Additionally, consuming more UPFs raises the risk of developing type 2 diabetes by 12%. Evidence also suggests that a diet high in UPFs is associated with a 21% greater risk of death from any cause. There's a significant 40 to 66% increase in the risk of heart disease-related deaths, as well as heightened chances of obesity, type 2 diabetes, and sleep problems. Moreover, the risk of depression rises by 22% with higher consumption of these foods. Relying solely on exercise to counteract the negative effects of UPFs is not enough. While staying active is crucial, it cannot fully offset the damage done by a diet high in these foods. As the saying goes, you can't outrun a bad diet. The key is to limit UPF intake and focus on whole, natural foods. Are you aware of a global movement that is spreading like wildfire? As we dig deep into the hidden truths of the food industry, let's have a glance at a powerful movement gaining momentum worldwide. Dr. Carlos Monteiro, a renowned expert in public health, is shaking things up by advocating for tobacco-style warning labels on ultra-processed food UPF packaging. Countries like Argentina, Colombia, Peru, and Mexico have already taken bold steps, implementing such labels to alert consumers to the health risks lurking in their favorite snacks. But that's not all. There's a growing push to ban the sale of UPFs in schools and healthcare facilities. Picture a world where our kids' lunchrooms and hospital cafeterias are free from the grip of unhealthy, ultra-processed foods. It's a radical yet essential step towards fostering a healthier future. Why all this fuss? Because UPFs are linked to a myriad of health issues, from obesity to heart disease. A study published in the journal Cell Metabolism found that people who consumed a diet high in UPFs ate more calories and gained more weight compared to those on a diet of unprocessed foods. Alright, it's time to take charge of your health and beat the food industry at its own game. First, let's make grocery shopping a powerful act of rebellion. When you're at the store, always read food labels. If you see a long list of unpronounceable ingredients, put that item back on the shelf. Look for foods with simple, recognizable ingredients. Next, cooking at home is your secret weapon. It might sound daunting, but it's easier than you think. Start with whole foods, fruits, vegetables, lean meats, and whole grains. Not only will you know exactly what's in your meals, but you'll also avoid the hidden sugars and unhealthy fats that come with UPFs. People who cook at home tend to eat healthier and consume fewer calories. So here's the deal. Ultra-processed foods UPFs are everywhere, and they're not doing us any favors. From hidden sugars to unhealthy fats, they're linked to obesity, heart disease, and more. But you can fight back. Read labels, cook more at home, and support moves to limit UPFs in schools and hospitals. What's your biggest challenge in avoiding ultra-processed foods? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and tell us what other topics you want us to cover. Let's keep this conversation going and take charge of our health together. Thanks for watching.